Long before there was a country called Germany, the region stretching from the Baltic, the North Sea to the foot of the Alps, was inhabited by prehistoric groups. As the Ice Age ended, Mesolithic hunter-gatherer communities and then Neolithic farming communities settled in the fertile valleys of Central Europe. The millennia that followed saw the emergence of numerous Bronze Age and Iron Age cultures. By the end of the Iron Age, the region split into two distinct cultural spaces. The south was occupied by Celtic tribes, while the north was settled by Germanic groups, originally from Scandinavia, expanding down and settling. Over time, the southern Celts gradually assimilated into the spreading Germanic groups. They became the inhabitants of the entire land between the Rhine and Danube, rivers that acted as a natural boundary between them and the rising Rome. From the 1st century BC, trade and clashes between Germanic and Roman peoples increased. The campaigns across the Rhine by Julius Caesar and other Roman generals were the first steps Rome took into what they called Germania. However, these efforts were largely fruitless. So, under Emperor Augustus, Rome decided to launch a larger campaign to bring Germania under its control. But in 9 AD, a disaster struck. 3 Roman legions were ambushed and destroyed by a coalition of Germanic tribes in the Teutoburg Forest. After this serious defeat, Rome abandoned its attempt to conquer all of Germania and fixed its borders along the Rhine-Danube, fortifying it with a defensive system called the Limes Germanicus. Nevertheless, many Germanic tribes still lived in Roman-controlled areas, and cities such as Cologne, Mainz, and Regensburg were all products of this period. Close contact allowed many Roman elements, such as agricultural tools, pottery, writing, to penetrate Germanic life. But they retained their own culture, worshipping gods such as Odin and Thor, and living in non-urban agricultural communities. At the end of the 4th century, the arrival of the Huns from the east led a series of huge upheavals, the Great Migration period. Hundreds of thousands of Germanic peoples left their homelands, flooding into Roman territory in search of new places to live. At the same time, the Roman Empire was seriously weakening, giving these tribes the opportunity to establish new kingdoms. Vandals and Suebi conquered Spain and then advanced to North Africa. Burgunds and Franks established kingdoms in Gaul Angles, and Saxons settled in Britain. Visigoths entered Italy and sacked Rome in 410. By the end of the 5th century, the Western Roman Empire had all but collapsed, giving way to newly formed Germanic kingdoms, combining local customs with Roman influence. However, in what is now Eastern Germany, where Germanic tribes once lived, Slav groups from the east flooded in to replace them. In the west, the Franks became the most prominent. Under King Clovis, they established a powerful kingdom in what is now France and Western Germany. By the 8th century, King Charlemagne had expanded his territory, conquering the pagan Saxons in the 30 Years' War, defeating the Bavarians and Lombards to extend his kingdom into Italy. In 800, Pope Leo III gave him the title Holy Roman Emperor, laying the ideological foundation for the later Holy Roman Empire. After his death in 814, Charlemagne's empire was divided into 3 parts among his grandsons in 843. The eastern region, the precursor to Germany, was called East Francia. In 919, the German lords elected Henry the Fowler as king, inaugurating the Ottonian dynasty. His son, Otto the Great, was the one who really laid the foundations for an early unified German state. After his victory over the Magyars at the Battle of Lechfeld in 955, Otto controlled much of Italy, and in 962 became Holy Roman Emperor. During the Middle Ages, the Holy Roman Empire became the political center of Europe, but it was not a unified state. It was a complex network of duchies, feudal domains, autonomous cities, powerful bishoprics. In 1356, the Golden Edict was issued, which required the emperor to be elected by 7 electors, which further weakened imperial power. Despite political fragmentation, the Germans remained culturally united. Gothic churches, first universities such as Heidelberg, the Hanseatic League flourished, and German knights conquered the Baltic under the Teutonic Order. The 16th century saw a major upheaval in Germany when Martin Luther published his 95 Theses in 1517, criticizing the Catholic Church. With the advent of Gutenberg's printing press, Luther's ideas spread rapidly throughout Europe and split the empire into 2 camps. The northeast supported Protestantism. The southwest remained Catholic. This division led to the 30 Years' War, 1618 to 1648, one of the most devastating conflicts in European history, when millions died from war, famine, and disease. The Peace of Westphalia ended the war and confirmed the permanent fragmentation of German territories.
After the war, power was concentrated in 2 powers: Austria, Habsburg, in the south, Prussia, Hohenzollern, in the north. In the 18th century, King Frederick the Great modernized Prussia and won the Silesian and 7 Years' Wars, making Prussia a leading military power. The French Revolution of 1789 and the rise of Napoleon disrupted the order of Europe. In 1806, after defeating Austria-Prussian, Napoleon forced 16 German princes to form the Confederation of the Rhine, and forced the last emperor to dissolve the Holy Roman Empire. After Napoleon's defeat, the Congress of Vienna, 1815, established the German Confederation consisting of 39 independent states. In the mid-19th century, industrialization transformed the Rhineland and Saxony into economic powerhouses. The movement for national unity grew, but the revolution of 1848 failed when Prussia refused to accept the throne. In 1862, Otto von Bismarck became Chancellor of Prussia and led the process of unification by iron and blood. He waged 3 wars: Danish War, 1864, Austro-Prussian War, 1866, Franco-Prussian War, 1870. After defeating France in 1871 at the Palace of Versailles, King Wilhelm I was proclaimed German Emperor, marking the birth of the German Empire. Germany boomed industrially, becoming one of the world's leading powers. Bismarck established a system of alliances to keep the peace. But when he was dismissed by Wilhelm II, Germany turned to a policy of naval and colonial expansion. In 1914, the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand triggered World War I. After 4 years of devastation, Germany was exhausted and surrendered in 1918. The Treaty of Versailles severely punished Germany, causing division and chaos within the country. The Weimar Republic was born but was constantly unstable, devastated by political violence and inflation. The economic crisis of 1929 made matters worse. Amid widespread discontent, the Nazi Party of Adolf Hitler emerged, was appointed Chancellor in 1933, and quickly turned Germany into a dictatorship. Hitler abolished Versailles, strengthened his military, allied with Italy and Japan, annexed Austria, occupied Czechoslovakia, then attacked Poland in 1939, opening World War II. After initial successes, Germany was counterattacked from both east and west. In 1945, Berlin fell and Germany surrendered unconditionally. After the war, Germany was divided into 4 occupation zones and then split into West Germany, FRG, Democratic, Market East Germany, GDR, Communist, controlled by the Soviet Union. In 1961, the Berlin Wall was built to prevent East Germans from fleeing to West Germany. By the late 1980s, East Germany was in deep recession, leading to peaceful protests in 1989. On November 9th, 1989, the Berlin Wall fell. In 1990, Germany was reunited. Today, Germany is the most populous country in Europe, the region's strongest economy, famous for its technology, automotive industry, and science. A long and tumultuous history has taken Germany from a fragmented land to a modern and peaceful power.